Good morning, mathematicians. Actually, I guess it's good evening for you guys. It's morning for me. Of course, you need your math notebooks out today. We are going to be delving further into the division of fractions, and now we're going to be taking it to the real-world practice of word problems. So if you can go to your table of contents, and some of you are on the back of your page, that's totally fine. It just depends on how many lines you have, depending on wide ruled or college ruled, etc. So whatever you would like, we need to do dividing fractions in real world problems. And real world problems are just code word for word problems. And we will be on page 41 to start off with today. Once you have that written, go ahead to page 41 in your notebooks. Once again, it should be on the back of your page. I'm sorry, not the back of your page, but the right side. You see where the hole punches are and where the spiral is. We will label this page 41 and give our title, How to Divide Fractions in Real World Probs. All right, so the tricky thing about dividing fractions, and we worked with this in dividing the decimals in word problems, is setting up the problem. Due to the fact that division is not commutative, I cannot get the same answer if I take 6 and divide it into 2 pieces, or if I take 2 and divide it into 6 pieces. So the order of the numbers matters. So when we have A divided by B, and I'm just using these variables today to stand in for whatever numbers I want, depending on what problem I am working on. So when I have A divided into B pieces, remember that meaning statement. This is A divided into B pieces. So A is the thing that's getting broken. Sometimes we are cutting it, sometimes we are splitting it equally. Think of all those key division words. Broken, cut, splitting, divided. That's the item that's being split apart. B tells us how many parts to split A into. Or the size of the pieces we are splitting. I'm going to zoom down there just a little bit if you need it a little closer. Forget your screens are smaller than mine. Okay, so, and the other thing to remember when we are dividing with real world problems is you want to make sure you have a label. In your answer. Okay, let's look at some examples of dividing a fraction. Let's pretend I have 5/6 of a plate of brownies. It is likely that Greta, my dog, probably ate the other part of it. But I only have 5/6 left, and I want to share them because I'm such a kind soul. Plus, I don't need all the calories. Equally between Mrs. Crone, comma, Mrs. Graves, and myself. how much will we each get? All right. Remember, if you need to copy this down, I was going too fast, just push pause until you have it all copied down. The first thing I ask myself is, what is getting divided? Well, am I splitting up Mrs. Crone, Mrs. Graves, and myself, or am I splitting up the plate of brownies? I'm splitting up 5/6 of the brownies. Then the next question is, what size or how many do I need to split that item into? Well, in this case, since it is Mrs. Crone, Mrs. Graves, and myself, I need to split it into 3 equal parts. So that tells me the thing I'm being split into, what is getting divided, is the brownies. So that's my very first number. That's my A. And then I need to take 5/6 of the brownies and divide it into 3 equal pieces for all of us. So now that I have my problem written correctly, I'm going to do 5/6 divided by 3. Well, I need to do fractions times fractions. So I'm going to do 5/6 divided by 3/1, because that's how I make a whole number of fraction very easily. Then I say to myself, oh no, I need to divide fractions. Wait, please don't cry. Just flip the second fraction and multiply. So remember again, the fractions have to stay in the same order. It's only the second fraction that gets flipped. Then, whew, yay, I get to multiply fractions. That's the easiest thing I can do with fractions. 5 times 1 is 5. 6 times 3 is 18. So therefore, we each will get 5/18 of the brownies. So once you have your problem set up, most of your battle is done. If you remember, need to divide, please don't cry. Flip the second fraction and multiply. Okay, now that we have done one together, let's try one more on your own. On the back of page 41, on page 42, please write the following word problem. Again, if I am going too fast and you need more time to write it down, simply push pause. Jamie is painting her house. Each room takes 1/2 a liter of paint. If Jamie has 3 liters of paint, how many rooms can she paint? Now that you have the word problem completed, remember that you are going to ask yourself, what are you dividing? What's the item that you are splitting up? And what size or how many pieces do you need to split that item into? Once you decide that, set your problem up and go ahead and divide it out. Always make sure that you look back to make sure that your answer is reasonable. Please press pause and complete the problem now. Okay, welcome back. You should have decided that you are dividing up the 3 liters of paint, because we need to break the 3 liters of paint into half-liter sections to decide how many rooms we can complete. So this would be the 3 liters are being divided into groups of 1/2 liters. Again, I need to do fractions divided by fractions. So I'm going to do 3/1 divided into 1/2. I'm going to look at it and say, oh no, I need to divide. Wait, please don't cry. Just flip the second fraction and multiply. So I have 3 times 2 6 over 1. You can leave your answer like that. However, you should by now know 6 over 1 really means 6 holes. So I can paint 6 rooms. Hopefully you put a label as well. You do not need to write this, but I just wanted to show you if you had set up your problem incorrectly by deciding that it was the half liters that you need to divide into 3 groups, and then we did 1/2 divided by 3 over 1, and then we flip the second fraction and multiply, your answer would have been 1/6. Hopefully, when you're visualizing this problem, if you got that you could only paint 1/6 of a room, first of all, you would know that that makes no sense, because why would we want to paint 1/6 of the room? You should have also been visualizing the 3 liters of paint that you have. And if each room only took half of these, how is it possible that we couldn't even paint a whole room? So again, word problems are very nice because they give you a context which to set your answer in. So you're not just out there in space. You have a chance to look back and see, does this really make sense? We will practice lots of these in class over the next 2 days. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Thanks for completing your work. Have a great night.